some reason, this doesn't go to my Facebook anymore.
Different reality show. That's such a gross, seedy lifestyle. Why professional wrestling is the perfect form of entertainment. Yes, we talk about comics. Yes, we talk about actors. I just like travel hubs. I like airports, bus stations, shit like that. I just like them. It's the most basic level of thing. You constantly have the option to get licked. The Farley guy doing what he loves to do. He will tell you I'm a bad driver, but there's no evidence for that. I have intuition, and I'm... Dude, people fall for absolute monsters.
All right, that's it, right? I think.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, song's over.
You're up, buddy.
I always did when a few other podcasts I've always done. I've never known how to start it, so I always just hey, because it's like if you're not sitting there with it really in your ears, the song. Anyway, hey, you're listening.
This is a brilliant start. I don't know what you're talking about.
I know, right? Yeah, you're listening to the Two Hippies, One Drunk podcast. I'm this week's host, Eric Fady. Thank you so much for checking us out. If you have not liked our Facebook page or subscribed to us on YouTube, please do that. A lot of you guys are, and it's really all those numbers are going up, so we're appreciating that.
Yeah.
This show's a little different than a lot of podcasts in the sense that we have 3 hosts and we change each week between myself, Eric Fady, Scott Ryan,
right
on your left if you're looking at the YouTube, and Tyler Charles if you're looking at the right. That was pretty good.
Right
I got
here?
your names.
Yeah, no, you did. You did it all good.
Wow.
That was maybe the best time I've ever done.
Yeah. It took 3 years, but you learned our names.
3 years, probably almost 10 years.
Jesus Christ.
It's been 8 years. So,
yeah.
Well, around 8 years. Yeah. Around 8 years. I'm trying to think. When are we? Well, no, you know what? It'll be 8 years in like the fall. So 7.5, I guess.
Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like I was 23, 24 when we first met.
Yeah, 23, I think.
Yeah.
Holy shit. That's time fucking flies.
And we'll
man,
be 33 this year. So
Yeah.
10 years.
It's terrible.
Terrible. Time flies.
Time flies.
Time flies when you're dying inside.
Yeah.
And outside.
When you're literally just
slowly decaying.
What was I going to say? I should say for some people, we are going on a Thursday because just life happened. We don't have to get into it, but we're here on a Thursday. We try to keep it pretty consistently, but it is what it is. We do not do this full time, believe it or not. And but there's been a lot of fucking...
We're gonna be consistent. It's
we could if some of you bitches would start fucking writing reviews and goddamn it. But
yeah. It's your fault.
Yeah, we're going. This is a strike. You write us a review, we'll do it at the right time.
Right, exactly. Although we'll probably just
share and like and review, and it will be when you want it to be.
That seems like a terrible strike in the sense that they didn't really even know.
We love you. Keep up. Yeah. We're sorry about the misstep.
Yeah,
we will not have it happen in any kind of regular basis. And from now on, if something like that happens, we will definitely let you know on the podcast.
I'm on my hands and knees begging for your forgiveness.
Yeah, and forgiveness means you review and like our podcast.
Yeah, we will give her a way to forgive.
Anyway, so I am, as I said, the host this week, Eric, and I don't know if this is, I suppose it could be considered a controversial topic, but I have had it. This is something.
It's like an Eric topic. It's very.
Yeah, there's not a controversy.
Well, here's the thing. I'm just gonna say the theory is I've had for a long time, and I've tried to do this on the comedy stage, by the way. But I think it works out better in a podcast form because when you're on a open, there's things I love podcasts and talking to the mics with people like you guys and throwing things around the horn. It's my favorite thing to do, even though I like stand up, because the only thing I've always thought with stand up is like. There are things that I know are funny, in my opinion, but if you're on stand-up and you just had an open mic, you have 5 minutes, 7 minutes to. If it's not punchline funny, it's hard to sometimes make things work. Obviously, for professionals, not so much, but
yeah, and you can't.
Professionals are getting 45 minutes an hour to talk about stuff. You can do long form jokes.
No matter what, you're not gonna get to bounce it off of somebody unless you're doing crowd work. And
right?
Fuck crowd work. I hate crowd work.
Yeah.
Well, you know what's funny? I'll do it sometimes, but I'm a fucking I'm a fucking idiot. I just like. I kind of do it in a stupid way, but I know you have to be very good at crowd work, and sometimes even then it's not good. Yeah, this is my favorite form of doing it. So anyway, this is a thought I've had for a long time in my life, to be honest. But I should say, so I'll say I'm going to try to talk about how We all have sex. We all like sex. I like sex. It won't sound like it maybe based on this episode, but I enjoy sex. I enjoy sex.
You're going to start it off with, I do like it.
And it
I
runs
do enjoy it.
humanity for the most part. Like sex basically runs. People say money is the rule. Dude, sex is, in my opinion, rules over money because people with large amounts of money fuck themselves over for dumb pieces of ass on a regular basis.
The only thing I would say about that, like, money still rules the world because it's like you use money to get sex. It's not like you use
or
sex
you
to
use sex to get money.
Not a lot.
Yeah,
some people do that.
Not like $1 billion or like somebody who's really has power. None of them are made from probably being prostitutes, right?
Not $1 billion, but
Not a lot of
you
money.
can
Like
make a
the
living.
people who run the world are running it on money, not sex.
I agree, but
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah,
I agree. But like, there's a radio station, a sports station I listen to. I know it sounds sports, but it does come down to this because they talk about athletes a lot. And what he always says basically is they can't say it on regular radio, but pussy is undefeated in the end. Like pussy, and that's not my joke, but pussy is undefeated. So yes, people, you're right. The money like gets them to these places, but sex, the actual sex is what will
I think
take
it's
down.
an absolute drive of humanity, like at its core.
I mean, so is money.
It is.
Resource acquisition.
But
Yeah,
some could
that's
argue that money and power are only gained on the male perspective to get better sex.
Get sex.
I mean, yeah, that is a big part of
That's true.
it.
I
Yeah.
guess like the end result would still be sex, and
So,
money
like-
is to acquire that.
Yeah.
And then here's actually another. I haven't even got into some of the stuff I was trying to lead into, but it just made me, as we're talking about this, another thing I've always thought that's interesting about sex, and this goes down like the prude route of like, again, as we're describing, look how like sex is in everything. You could argue that every guy tries to get a good job, maybe for other reasons, but sex is always a part of it. Sex is so much a part of everything. Tyler just said, the human drive to just have it, whether it's to reproduce from the old days and now we just do it for fun. It is what it is. But it's this thing that we all are chasing as dudes. Now, sometimes as guys, you might sit there and talk to each other, locker room talk. Sex is everywhere, but yet nobody, for the most part, wants to hear. Like, you don't sit down. Guy friends would kind of joke about it, but you don't really sit down and go, so yeah, I was nibbling her nipple and then I started fingering her butthole. Like, you don't do that.
That is accurate.
Because
you're
why?
like, I was
Why don't
playing
you-
with the titties and
Why don't you do that?
fucking this bitch.
This
Why don't you do that?
Yeah.
This might be a weird perspective. I don't know, but I know I've talked with Tyler about this before. I think everybody is way too uptight about sex.
That is true.
I think absolutely, you should not be weird about it. I mean, like I said, you don't have to get into graphic detail of play-by-play of how it went down.
Yeah, you don't need a list of things. And then we did this.
But if you've
and then
got
I
a weird
sniffed her
kink,
hair, and
Yeah.
then I whispered.
but
in
if
her
you've
ear.
got a weird kink, I want to hear about it. Talk to me about it, dude.
I
This is a
agree.
great
I actually
conversation.
agree, by
You
the
know
way.
what I mean?
I actually
Like-
agree. But wouldn't you say the majority of people, that is not how people
I don't
mostly
know.
think?
Part of me might
No.
be like, just keep that to yourself.
Okay,
Keep that to yourself.
And
I
even
don't
amongst
need to-
ourselves.
If I'm in a relationship with you, yes, let's have that discussion. Otherwise, yeah, I don't need to know.
No, I want
I
to
know
know.
you're
I want to peek into your the weirdest part of your soul.
No, I want to
But-
peek into you being chill and cool.
But Tyler, why don't you want to hear that? Why?
Because it's none of my business.
Is that why?
Honestly, in my opinion, yeah. Because I don't
Okay,
mind
but what if
sex.
they didn't
I'm
care?
down
What
to
if they
talk
didn't
about
care?
it. I'm down to have discussions. I watch a ton of porn like the next guy. I'm just saying that, when it comes to that stuff, it tends to be an awkward conversation. It tends to have ego in it. It tends to have somebody being like, yeah, I'm so good at this shit. I fuck the hell out of her. And it's like, I don't want to have this
Or maybe it's
conversation.
because
Yeah,
it's
you
gross.
can miss me with that. I want to be like, oh, you get an erection from somebody rubbing balloons, you know what I mean? That's true. I don't want to hear your egotistical bullshit. I want to hear the weird bullshit.
Okay, fair enough. If somebody's going to tell me that they're
Yeah.
jerking off to the
I see,
balloon,
You
now
like
the
to
funny
wear
thing is, I
diapers?
would want to
Why?
know that.
Let me into this world.
Yeah, that whisper stuff. What's
Yeah.
that about? What's that whole whisper thing?
See-
the tapping of the mic and stuff. That's a sexual thing now too. Yeah.
I've never heard of this. What are you talking about?
Are you really?
No.
It's like a YouTube thing. Women will whisper into a mic or say things or
Are you talking
do,
about
things
ASMR
like
or
this
are you
and,
talking about
people jerk
sex?
off. ASMR, yes.
I thought
I use that
ASMR
stuff to
for
take naps, too.
sleeping and shit.
Yeah.
No, there's definitely a sex aspect to it because there's definitely a lot of women who are getting paid a lot to do that. I'm like, oh,
well, maybe that must be what some people are using it for.
Yeah.
I've just got into that in the last like 6 months, but it's for like I wake up super early, and one thing I've started doing now is like if I wake up super early, I throw on some ASMR, and it honestly puts me to sleep for another hour, and also I feel better even when I wake up because it's like really relaxing. So dude, if there's a thing out there, and let's be clear, it's always almost 90% of the thing.
No, it's gonna go sexual.
No, yeah, if it's guys, it's gonna go sexual. Girls, not
so
even
much.
close.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
What a fast!
So I'm saying My Little Pony is not for fucking, but people do it.
Oh, there's cosplay, and I definitely don't watch cosplay porn at all.
There's a lot of people doing that with sex. I've like seen references on television shows, and I've seen.
If you got an OnlyFans, you're not putting people to sleep.
No, you're jerking off. Your consumers are jerking off, and it doesn't matter what you're doing.
Okay, can I say
yeah, go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just going to say, like, to be fair, though, if I'm going to hear about it, I do want to hear about, like, weird kinks and shit. I hate, though, like, 90% of people, I don't want to have a conversation about, oh, you like handcuffs and ropes. Like, oh, right. Cool. Like, that's, like, 50% of the population.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder, though, I don't really know what the evolution of some of this was. I don't know if it's porn or stuff, because honestly, God, I don't think when I was a kid, it was a thing that everyone knew about, this idea of handcuffs. I remember thinking that probably was when I was in high school. I bet if someone was like, oh, I handcuffed somebody up, I bet that would have been like, Jesus, fuck you, weirdo. And now,
it seems pretty tame now.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, of course you do.
It's like the thing people who are not kinky use to make themselves sound kinky.
Right. Yep. So I guess where I was kind of going with some of that originally was about how it just runs the world to me. And yet, for the most part, a lot of people don't like to talk about it, and I think it is interesting, and even I know it can be seen as more of an American thing. I know some other cultures are a little more open with that stuff.
Open with it.
Yeah, but even then, I don't think that people necessarily sitting down at the family dinner and talking about licking buttholes or something. You know what I mean?
You should not be talking about that with your family.
I mean, maybe they need to learn. Be open.
Yeah,
so talk about licking buttholes and how to do it.
That's just kind of I guess. So that's kind of just where I went with this. I should say
not how I learned. My family did not tell me how to lick buttholes.
No, let me ask you. My mom is not aware of a single butthole I've licked.
Until now. Until now.
You know what?
She would be caught dead listening to this podcast.
Yeah, same. I was. You know what? I didn't even
far too much dignity.
Know that it would go this way, and I want to get to the actual. My point of sex is gross.
Yeah, I was going to say, why do you think it's disgusting?
But now I have to ask this because I'm curious. I'm not going to say mine first, and you don't have to go into details. But you always hear about this on TV and shit. When you mention that about, oh, my mom doesn't know any buttholes I licked. Did your parents actually have a birds and the bees talk with you? Actually,
yes. When I was,
did they
4.
really? Well, this will probably
explain
a lot.
Yeah, she told. Yep, she knew it was coming.
Ooh, man.
Yeah, I had no idea.
Do you have any recollection of that?
Years later, when I first had a wet dream, and I went to the bathroom and I thought I had to pee, and I was like, "Oh, my dick hurts. I don't know what's happening." And then white shit came out, and then I was like, "Oh, it's that thing my mom was talking about."
Do you have a recollection of that talk, or did you just tell you?
Yes, I just remember her sitting me down on the couch and being like, "Hey, there's gonna be like some stuff that comes out of you, and like there's a reason for that when you rub up against stuff, or you'll get erections."
You rub up against stuff.
Yeah, absolutely, all that shit. But
and you remember it?
Yes.
Wow. Is that one of your first memories? Because Flo's pretty young.
In my head, I'm like, what the fuck are they talking
I'm going to go ahead and say right now, Tyler's hatred of people talking about sex comes directly from his mom's sex talk at 4 years old.
Well, 4 is pretty young. I'm trying to remember. Do you have many memories before that? Because 4
have been 6. I know it was before we moved here. And I was 8 when I moved here, and it was only a couple years into moving here.
Okay, Eric,
at least 6.
Eric is right, though. It's one of your first memories.
Yeah, definitely is.
That is crazy, man. But I can understand why you. It's funny because I'm trying to think of my own first memory, but I can't think of it right now. Scott, so do you remember at an age?
Okay. So first of all, when I was probably like 6 or 7, I remember. Okay, I have 3 separate things I would say. I called my mom in because I had a boner, and I didn't know what was going on. And I'm like, what the fuck?
What like in one sense, Steve, like you got it, and it just was. And you, what did you say? Do you remember?
I called my mom into the bathroom, and I was like, "Something's wrong with my penis."
Like nothing wrong with you, good boy.
And that was literally, I mean, she was just like, "Yeah, no, it's fine, nothing's wrong, I promise," and then just like basically left.
Right, that's awesome. What a story.
You didn't even get told the sex talk then. That was the first time.
Not at all.
Like okay. All right.
Yeah, that was the first time. And then I remember I asked my mom what sex was or how babies were made. And my mom told me that the guy sticks his penis into like a hole in the woman's leg. And that made me believe that like it was like a hole in your thigh or something.
I did think that that a woman's vagina was on the front of her. Like I didn't think you had to go like underneath.
Wait.
You
it's
did
not
push-ups
on the front.
on a woman.
You wouldn't describe the vagina. Wait, you wouldn't describe the vagina on the front of a woman?
No, because it's like underneath. It's underneath. I'm talking about like straight push-ups, dick down in there, like it's going in the vagina.
Yeah, okay.
Like, that's what I'm saying. That's what I thought. And then the first time I had sex, I was like, oh, it's down here.
You knew before the first time you had sex.
Wait, what?
No, the first time I had sex, that's when
but
I
you watched
out.
You were watching porn?
No. That was like I was.
No bullshit. We were watching porn.
We were not watching porn. We were getting.
When did you first have sex?
Women pictures.
We
were not watching porn. I did not. The first porn I ever watched. You want to know about that crazy shit? My mom had a bunch of like firewalls up to stop me from getting porn, and I searched and I found a way, and it was horse porn. It was a woman with a horse, butt naked, just like standing next to it, showing it off. Like it was,
my God!
And I was like, no! Like fuck, my mom's gonna find out, and this is what I got. Like,
I remember the first facial I ever saw. I remember there was a picture of this girl with like cum all over her face. I didn't even really understand what it was, but I knew that we had like what is spaghetti with that white sauce?
Alfredo.
We had Alfredo that night, and I was so grossed out.
So you know what's funny?
No, but I knew it looked like the white stuff on the girl's face, and I was very like,
"This is awesome. This is
really doesn't. It doesn't look like Alfredo. That's some thick cum."
Yeah, it was.
Well, porn cum is usually pretty thick.
First of all, porn cum is totally different than real cum.
What is that?
God,
do they take pills? Are you thinking they're taking pills?
I don't know.
They're cum thicker.
Well, I think.
Or is it like gel or lube or something? They're just spread.
No, it's real cum for sure. I don't know how they produce.
I'm sure there's something, dude. Honestly, because they, we all. I think anyone that's. I haven't really dug into it that much, but if you pay attention, if you really find anything out about porn, even porn is so manufactured compared to like they are not just sitting there kind of having sex. Like they have fucking like Scott's. I think Scott or Tyler.
You have a fluffer that no one ever knows about.
Yeah,
right.
Go ahead.
Oh no, you go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, because we were talking about it. My sex talk was, I remember I was playing Donkey Kong 64, and my stepdad kind of came up to me. He's like, "Hey, we got to talk about something." I thought I was in trouble, like, and then he was just like, "Hey, like, you're into the age where like it's important to know, like, you might like your penis might get hard. You might like have, you might have a dream where you wake up and it's wet, and I just want to let you know what it is." And I was like, "Okay," and he was like, "Cool." And that was it.
And then, what did he let you know what it was?
You know what it was?
Not really.
He just had it like, "Hey, it's gonna happen. Watch out!
Watch out for
the commentary."
It's normal. Just when it happens.
Right. Okay, yeah, don't be scared.
Crazy. Everybody's coming. Everybody's coming all the time.
I have two observations from this, and one
Don't touch your dick. Did your parents ever tell you to not masturbate?
I had years from like probably 9 to like 13 where I was looking at porn and not masturbating because I didn't really even.
Yeah, I didn't know what masturbating was until
that's
way
a funny,
too late.
yeah.
Like legit until I was like 15. I was like, what?
Yeah.
Like I know it feels good to look.
Yeah.
But like I didn't know there was an end.
Yeah, no, me either.
I didn't know there was a finishing.
Yeah.
Thing.
So
I remember just looking at porn like a fucking 9-year-old scientist for like 3 or 4 hours.
Same, just horny as hell, but not being able to release a goddamn ounce of cum.
So I have two observations from this. One might answer my feelings on sex being gross, and that is I'm came from a very prude family, and I never had any sex talk whatsoever. Never.
They didn't talk to you about it?
Never, not once.
I feel like just you do it as a precautionary measure, so you don't have to.
Well,
later.
I mean, they knew.
But I had a school sex ed where they played the song "Superman" by Eminem for some reason. Which
Wait, seriously?
Yeah, no, not Superman.
No, I'm thinking of
not Crank.
No,
That.
Superman.
Superman.
God,
I know what song you're talking.
Yeah, that song.
They play that for sex education.
I have no idea. I've wondered many times. I remember they
That's very
separated the boys
interesting.
and the girls, and they started it out by playing an edited version of Superman.
Oh, they edited it too.
Yeah. Of course, they edited it.
I watch you, baby.
So you know what's funny about that, by the way?
Why would he sing? What the fuck relevance is that?
It was a popular song at the time.
But that is such a disrespectful fucking
No.
song to women
Totally.
and about sex and the whole situation. It's teaching no one.
They should have paused it after every line and been like, "Don't do that." All right, we're gonna play the next line. Don't ever do that.
What about whipping tampons at their faces or whatever, that one line, right? Like, is that okay?
There's literally a sound effect of a woman screaming in terror.
Uh-huh.
At one
Right.
point in that song.
Wow, I forgot. That's interesting. You know what's funny? I see things are coming up to me that I'd forgotten about. And so in my life, my education had a really weird educational path. And then I went from like public school to like a Montessori to homeschooled for 6 months and back to a Montessori to a Christian school for 7th and 8th grade. So the point is, as you're describing this, when I said my parents didn't even have a sex talk with me, I wasn't in public school when I would have even got
So they didn't
sex
even
talk.
give you that.
So I never got shit from anybody because the years I was in those places, they weren't at places that would have talked to me about it.
Question: when did you find out?
So here's where another thing I was going to go to. When you guys were talking about porn, I was talking about like, oh, come on, you were watching porn. And I forgot that the internet, obviously wasn't for a while, people didn't have fast internet. And here's something I've never revealed.
I never print out pictures. I remember.
We did.
Right.
We would download pictures on LimeWire and print them out.
Right. So here's something I've never talked about much online or even on the Detroit Cast back in the day. In fact, I never mentioned it. But my parents actually owned a not family video in the sense of what we think of family video. I mean, like a small family business video store growing up.
Family video's got a porn section.
Oh no, they do. But we weren't a family video. We were like, I just meant like we had like it was called something, and we had 2 video stores. Yep. So but we weren't a chain thing. We were strictly a small family business. I mean, just like a family video store. And so the point is, I had access to porn very early, but I had no clue what it was. But when Tyler's talking about that, like, oh, we're looking at pictures, I probably started watching porn, like, because one night, literally, I used to sleep in that video store. And one night when I was younger, my mom must not have thought I was old enough to understand. I literally slept in the adult room of our video store as a child.
So it's just surrounding you.
I remember her telling me.
You have so many issues. You got to have so many issues with that. Like being surrounded by sex, but nobody explaining shit to you.
Yeah.
Right. And I was told to keep my eyes closed, by the way, but go to bed. I'm in this room. Why didn't she go somewhere else? I don't know.
Yeah, keep your eyes closed. Don't look at the big titty.
It makes sense, though. That room is like a little fort. It's like a little secret area.
Yeah, it is. And so I think some of those things might factor into how I feel about sex growing up.
Oh,
you know what I mean? Like, no,
that is what you should call the porn section in a video store, the secret area.
But if I'm a kid and I'm hanging out in the video store overnight, I'm going to go to the room with the curtains.
Yeah.
The little room with the curtains. It's like,
right.
I agree.
So that might have, my overall thought in some of those is those aspects might have had how led to me where my life came to on feeling of sex, I suppose.
Yeah.
I never had a healthy, looking back on it, I had no level of healthy introduction to what it was or anything about it.
Okay, you know what? I was probably 10 or 11. I was inside of a Sam Goody.
Yeah.
And they
Sam
have a
Goody.
porn.
Remember, would you go to the the posters and be like, oh, there's Britney Spears. Oh shit.
No, they had a porn section in the Sam Goody. It was like Playboy and Hustler stuff.
Yes, but it wasn't separated at all. It was just there.
Man, I got in trouble there one time.
Well, I got in trouble in a Sam Goody, and it was completely unwarranted. I had no idea. I remember walking through being like, this has a lot of very like scantily clad women on these movies, but I had no idea. I had no idea. And one of the Sam Goody employees came up to me and he was like, hey, like, what are you doing over here? And I was like, I'm just looking at movies. He's like, yeah, sure you are. This is
moving along.
This is the adult section. And I was like, I didn't know. And he's like, yeah, okay, sure you didn't know.
No, I got in trouble. You remember Media Play? Yeah.
Yes.
I was straight looking through their like porn.
Right.
And it's like the guy was like, hey, what are you doing? And I'm like, nothing. Like ran out. Hell yeah, I ran out of there. My parents were with me.
Oh my god!
I was like snuck off to go see.
Oh my god!
I'm gonna do.
Did you have to meet up with your parents when they came?
I had to hide
store?
in the store until they were ready to go, and then I ran up with them when they got for sure. That definitely went down.
I'm gonna tell one story that I want to tell because I didn't plan on going down this route, but I think it's funny. And then I'm gonna full on take the pivot back into the actual topic.
Yeah, why is it gross?
Yeah.
But I want to tell the story because it came up naturally, and I think it's funny. So, like I said, we own this store, and I used to work there as like a young kid. Like I worked there for a while, like into my middle school age, right?
Yeah.
And I did get to a point where I finally did know what the adult room was. You know what I mean? Like I still didn't probably, again, fully get it, but I understood more and more about what it was.
Yeah.
And we had expanded our store, and for some reason, I have no fucking clue, they didn't move the bathroom, maybe because bathrooms are a pain to move. So, but I don't know why they didn't put the adult room somewhere else. I don't know what the floor plan was.
Oh, that's a dangerous layout.
So you had to go to back then you could have, like, it wasn't a regular bathroom. Only employees were allowed to go there. I guess back then it wasn't, we didn't have a public bathroom technically.
Yeah,
but I finally reached the age where I knew what that was, but I would look young enough to fucking be ridiculous. And I would wait till creepy men would go into the porno room and I'd be like, oh, I gotta go to the bathroom. And I'd purposely walk back there. And then when I walk back to go to the bathroom, they just start looking at the walls and shit and be like, how did I get in here? I don't fucking know.
You act like they just don't fuck with them?
Yes,
that's
100%.
Fantastic.
When I would see these yeah.
No, I was just going to say, that's a thing that we missed at our age is, like, we were kids when that happened. Imagine being the shame of being an adult man in, like, the porn section.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That would suck. It's so much better now with fucking the internet because, Jesus Christ, because, like, if you were a single dude, it's like, God damn it. I have to go in public. I have to rent this or buy
I used to. Did you guys? Were you guys ever old enough to rent? Because I did rent. At some point, we sold our store. I was between the internet and stuff.
I was old enough to rent it. I mean, at that point, we really had internet.
Okay, so
I was like 18.
I didn't. And when I would, for about a year or two, when I was still renting porn, I would go into other stores. We had sold our store by this point. I didn't have access to it, and I would do the same thing that they probably. I would do what they probably did, which was I would rent 2 other movies, and then put the porno in the middle.
In the middle, sandwich it. You sandwich it in the middle.
Just be like, crazy.
Just
3 videos, please.
Yeah, scan the side. You don't need to see what it's about.
Well, when we lived, it was a situation where, to be fair, it was men and women there. So it wasn't as sad as it was just men. But when we were living in our first apartment, when we were like 19 or 20, we had one of our friends who is a real, like, I keep a Playboy in the bathroom type dude.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, one of those guys. And, like, I have, like, posters of women in, like, thongs on my wall. Like, that kind of dude. And he got us to rent porn at the apartment a couple of times. Just
to, like, watch it. It was weird porn.
Was he not?
It was always
a clown porn and then a really weird, creepy animation.
Yeah, there was 2. It was a clown porn and an animation porn. And the thing with the clown porn was it was a porn. It was too much of a porn. It was. It was uncomfortable.
Yeah, because, like, if it's funny, if he's, like, honking his nose while he's fucking or something,
then we're all laughing,
having a good time. But it was a lot more like, okay, now all of our clothes are off. We're just gonna fuck for 20 minutes.
Yeah, it was.
I hate that. By the way, God damn it, I don't.
And who the hell is watching a porn all the way through? I'm skipping around. I'm skipping around.
Yeah,
I've
scene
never
select button. Sure.
I fucking God. I want to. We'll move on. But when you bring that up, I fucking hate when I Google and try to be like, especially if you're talking about cosplay or role play type of porn. I fucking hate when it's like going to be like, oh, fucking a fire lady or something. And then she wears her her suit until 2 minutes in, and now she's just naked. Leave that fucking shit on. That's why I Googled it. Like,
be fucking in what appears to be a burning building.
Or something, dude.
Really?
It's bullshit.
Yeah.
Fully commit to that.
Commit to it. Yeah.
I always remember one time I went.
Say real quick. Me and we were talking when we were when we were like 10, 11,
something like that.
We printed out pictures with other people at our church, like other kids, and then we all got in trouble by the like head guys, the elders.
Well, we had a little ring. Ring.
They literally said that we were running a porn ring. Because like we all had pictures that we were like giving to each other,
and we were.
We were.
I remember having one of the kids from our church. My room was in the basement at the time. Him sneaking out of his house and coming over at like midnight and tapping on my window so I could like pass him some porn pictures.
Oh my god, I remember all of that. But yes, we were. They literally said you guys are running a porn ring.
Yeah,
and like we have to stop it.
I had.
And we were, and they were right.
I had.
Sex is good.
We had the American video. We had the video store until my freshman year of high school, and if you were to go back in my freshman, kids found out about it. Back then, it wasn't a big. They just knew because I would whatever. And if you go back to my freshman yearbook, even though I didn't have a lot of friends, the people that did sign it would sign it "Porn King Eric Fady." I was selling porn to kids at high school.
That is badass. You really should have been cooler.
Yeah. For real.
I tried. I obviously, dude, that's how uncool I was. Like I had access to some of this stuff.
Porn, and they still like wouldn't be your friend.
Anyway, I'll move on to the actual topic, I guess. Sex is gross is the actual topic of today's podcast.
Is it?
Yeah, I know we haven't gone there at all for the most part, but
it is pretty gross. I'll give you that.
I think what I should say is when I have this thought that I say sex is gross. I like sex, and everybody for the most part, like when you Google it though, like when I tried to Google research for the episode, I tried to like Google, why, like articles on the people. And the thing is, you'll run into people that there are humans who legitimately are grossed out by, like, they don't want anything to do with sex. They're almost like asexual, almost asexual in a lot of ways. And I wouldn't say that's me. I just have had more of as a comedic, although on some level it is. I do find the human body rather disgusting. Both sexes, by the way. But I would say,
although you'd rather get peed on by a man
than pee on. But that was the reason. The reason that is though is I just in my mind I don't want to have sex with a guy. So if a guy wants to pull out a dick, I see dicks all the time. Like that's the thing. Guys that sit there and be like, "Oh, dick, dude." We all watch porn. You do see dicks. We all know what dicks look like. So my thought behind
we all know what vaginas look like.
Yeah, for the most part. And
no, we do. We do.
No, I know. No, we do. We do. But the point is, if I'm trying to have sex with a girl, in my mind, her standing over me and doing that all over my body, I don't know that I want to have sex with her after that. Whereas in a guy, I'm not going to try to have sex with that dude. So if he wants to stand on top of me with a penis and piss on me, it's not as bad to me because I'm not trying to.
I'm angry either way, but I'm still okay with a woman.
I mean, if a woman is pissing on me, I don't want to have sex with her afterwards.
That is true.
I do agree with that.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're,
that's more what I mean.
That's you're going to take a shower.
That's more what I mean. I just
take a shower. You pissed on me.
All parties immediately
take showers.
Right. So my thought when I say this is more on the level of a comedic value of like I look at it more as just like a human element of like if you were a person looking at this from a fourth perspective, right? Like an alien comes down, you don't know how humans get this derive pleasure from this, and you're just watching. I just more have this thought of like, dude, it's disgusting if you really fucking think like, and I have this written down as an example for like people in a restaurant, and you could do a lot of taste things, but this is one specifically to me. People in a restaurant will freak the fuck out if there's a hair in their food. and they'll be sitting there the next night licking fucking
This is the
butthole.
angle you're taking it. There's
Like,
a hair in your food when it comes to pussy.
I mean, I kind of get it. I mean, I don't agree with it, but I can follow the logical train of thought.
I'm just saying, like, well, you'll sit at a table and people will agree that is fucking disgusting. Make them take
But
it
it's
back.
easier
One little,
Because you didn't
one,
want to fuck the cook.
one little hair.
Exactly.
One little
If you
hair.
wanted to fuck the cook, you would eat that shit up. I would.
Yeah.
But
It's
that's my
easier
point,
to
but see-
ignore gross shit with sex. It is easier.
Exactly. And Tyler just said something that I wasn't gonna. These guys didn't know what ways I was going at, but Tyler actually just said something that led into a point I wanted to make, and that was like, I really have always liked running in my life. I've been a big runner my whole life and stuff like that. And one thing I like about running is it's like an endurance sport. It's not a fully gifted sport in the sense that if you're willing to put your body through pain, you can win. You don't have to necessarily have talent. You do, but you don't. And so my point is with sex, if you thought about it, everybody has a line. They're like, that's disgusting. I can't believe that turned someone on. You gross fuck. But it's sexual to them. You know what I'm saying? So it's really, we all just, to some extent, we all draw a line on where we decide sex is gross to us. It's just, where is that line?
I will say, I was just going to say, I'm not a very kinky person, but I have dated a lot of kinky people, and I have definitely had that line pushed.
Right. And that's
what
okay.
I would
See that, so that's just kind of my point, though. Notice, like, everybody has a line in sex that it could be described as sex, though, that they say, no, that's too much
disgusting.
for me. And why is it? Because it's disgusting.
Yeah, you say that, but it's like I don't even know if that's the case. I say if I care about my part, my difference between the two of you, I feel like Scott's on board with fucking everybody if he can.
I've eaten a stranger's ass.
Okay, and Eric is like, yeah, it's gross, and like to me, it's like it's gross until I care about that person. Like it is disgusting.
I understand that.
I'm outside of a relationship. If I'm in a relationship, I'll live in that vagina. You could literally sit on my head and put me in there, and I'd be fine all day.
Okay, so a girl you're very attracted to that you are in a relationship says, "I like to piss on dudes."
I'd be like, okay,
that's okay.
I like to take a shit on your chest. I like to take a shit on your chest.
That just for the like, I don't want to puke on you factor. I'd probably be like, yeah, no.
Like, but you're drawing a line where sex is gross to you at that point.
But that is,
but it's sexual to her. It's sexual to her.
I agree, but I still think I'd even maybe consider it if they were super into it.
Would you? I would not.
Yeah.
I would not.
If I don't think I would date anybody who wants to shit on my chest. But if you were, if I was dating somebody who like was super into that, I'd be like, yeah. This is gross. Let's not do it every time.
Wow.
You get drunk? You doing some drugs first?
Hands down.
Yeah.
Definitely getting wasted.
But see, Tyler, you're already admitting to me what I'm kind of saying, though. Like, you're going to have some line where sex is then gross to you. Because it's sexual to them.
Because he doesn't have a line.
I think that I don't. I think that if my sexual
partner we can find something.
And I really, really like them, then I'm going to do it.
But wait a minute. You're going to do it because you love them. But does that mean you're not going to go in your mind, dude, this is kind of gross?
No, this is disgusting. Absolutely. But I'll do it. It is easier to ignore things with sex. I was going to say that, like, me and Scott had some stories, and, like, mine is a shorter one than his. But, like, essentially, I dated this girl. We got drunk with some friends. We were 18 or something at the time and went to a park and got hammered drunk. Right. And I went down on her in the car, and I thought she squirted, but she did not squirt.
So you thought she pissed in your mouth?
She pissed in my face.
I believe
did she say she squirted?
That's scientifically what squirt is, correct?
I don't know, because when a girl has squirted before, there's a difference of somebody pee. It doesn't taste like pee. That tastes like pee. It tasted like straight like. And I at the time was like, this seems off.
Oh, I think you told me about this. She did have to pee really bad.
Yeah, and she just because she was drunk, and then did that, and I was like, did you just piss in my face?
Was this your car?
Yes, it was my car.
Okay, did it smell like piss?
Yes, yes, it was the whole experience. She also puked on the side of my car.
Ooh,
Like,
man.
she fucking puked alongside of it. And I literally said, I was like, did you just piss on my face? And she's
You got
like,
this girl's number?
yeah.
Is she still alive?
yeah. And
Asking for a
she's
friend.
married, children.
Oh,
All
Jesus.
that stuff.
Never mind.
I did not officially consent. I have not asked to mouth that I was not at all a party to.
How could you not be a party to it?
How did they just like move?
Okay,
They just moved.
Okay, because first of all,
the scooting boot?
well, no, okay, ass to mouth is when you're having anal sex, you pull your dick out and then they suck your dick without any. And I am not into anal sex. I do not understand anal sex.
I've never-
that is
You
one
had
thing-
anal sex without you being party. Not you didn't. Did you eat an ass?
No,
Or did you
no.
have anal sex.
I had anal. Okay, this
Okay.
is what happened. Is I was dating a girl who liked to do wild stuff, liked to drink a lot. This isn't like the last year, by the way.
Okay.
And I don't like she wanted to have anal sex. I don't understand anal sex at all. Like I don't understand the appeal of it. I don't get it. Like
It's a
people will be
tighter
like,
hole.
"Oh, it's tighter." And I just
I've always said this, by the way. And
Except for
it's
maybe you have
tighter.
shit on your dick. That's the
I've
only
always
difference.
said, I've always said
That's
that.
the only difference.
It's
I
tighter.
get I get that. One thing I've always thought about it, and I understand that in that moment, he's a female, she's, it's a whatever, a little different. But if you're a guy who is straight and you're so into anal sex, I've always been like, dude, you're
It's
a
a
little gay.
complicated thing.
You're a little gay, I think. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
No, I'm saying as a dessert on your birthday, you get some butt sex. I'm saying like all I'm saying is
Isn't it
that
a lot
like
of
it's
work,
a tighter
though? You
hole.
gotta,
Okay,
like-
That's why
I
it's
would
good.
say I don't think there is a gay aspect to it. I think it's like it's more
not gay. I don't mean-
exclusive than the pussy.
I
Like,
don't-
If you're exclusively going for the butt, it's all okay.
Yeah,
Okay, that's what I meant, Tyler. I meant like these guys who are.
I don't give a fuck. But like,
But anyway, we were like in the shower or whatever, because like I know like gay people have told me like you do an enema and stuff before butt sex. The times I've done
shit,
it, there's
really?
not been an enema. Yeah, that's what I've heard from gay dudes. But
Okay.
like we were in the shower and like I pulled my dick out, I saw brown on it.
Ah!
And
I've had butt sex and no brown was on it.
Oh,
Clean
God.
themselves. I don't know what the hell. And I've had like a fair amount with like 2 different girls and like never had that issue.
Never.
Never once.
I have heard horror stories.
No,
that
don't
was-
bring up.
That's what this podcast is for. I'm going to.
Yeah.
This is just proving my point, I think.
Yes, I think he really is. Honestly, we're being swayed that it's disgusting.
See?
I'm still into it. Accidents happen. Anyway.
Yeah, they do.
So,
Whether
I
you're
had a
3
friend of
months
mine-
old or fucking 25.
I swear, like the root of me not understanding anal sex comes from when I was like 15 or 16. One of my cousin's friends was hanging out with her and I.
Here we go.
And she's just like, me and my boyfriend had anal sex and something happened. And I'm like, well, what happened? And she was like, he was fucking me in the butt. He pulled out and like a turd just suctioned out and landed on his ass.
Gross.
Oh my God.
My cousin's still friends with this woman. She's like 30. I've never been able to look at her the same.
You can't.
No.
You can't.
Oh my God.
You took a shit out of bed.
Did she have a kid?
Is she
Did he fuck out a kid?
Break from always.
From Always
That
Sunny.
is a real break move.
Yeah.
And the thing
Who
is,
pooped the bed? That chick.
the thing is, she's not even a bad looking person, but I
Yeah,
cannot, you cannot pay me to have sex with her
right.
No.
I don't think
because
that's
like
do
that's
that.
just stuck in my mind.
I bet if I throw down a mill, I mean,
Yeah, that's fair. We've talked
that's
about
always-
this. You could pay me. It would be a
You know
lot.
what's
Yeah.
Scott, when people, this is off the subject, but when people say you couldn't pay me to blank, I always
Yeah.
think to myself, I mean, not everything, but there's money to almost everything. When people say like, oh, you couldn't pay me to go to dude, we were talking about Garth Brooks, like off the air. We were talking about Garth Brooks a little bit. I remember when he went on tickets went on sale. I love to do this.
$1,000.
Yeah.
And fuck her.
Exactly.
$1,000. Yeah,
So I
that's
remember
fair.
like some dude on the comments, these fucking assholes who'll be like, You couldn't pay me to go Garth. Yeah, I fucking could pay you to go see Garth. That's throw $5 million on you. You're not going to see Garth Brooks.
$500. You get to go to a concert for $500. You making that good of money at your regular job?
Right, exactly. So
job.
When people say like you couldn't pay me to blank, I'm always like, okay, let's really start getting down to brass tacks.
How much is it going to take you, buddy? 500?
Okay, I believe Tyler and I have talked about this in the past. I believe both of us have been eating a girl out on her period and had her period blood all over.
I never had the period blood, but I have gone down.
Oh, I have.
I have no. I think me eating her out pushed the tampon deeper in and clubbed it.
So you knew she was on her period and you did it.
Hell yeah!
Oh my god! Oh my
God!
god!
I said, I will do if I like somebody.
God bless you. God bless you, dude. That's why you get laid more than me.
I got my Red Wings. I could have gone my whole life without them. I didn't win them.
I openly chose that.
God bless you, Tyler. You're a good man, but you're not.
Man too. Like I remember literally like this was another situation. Like we were both drinking, so we didn't realize it like right away, you know. And then all of a sudden I realized there's a sweat on my face. I touch it and I have like red all over my hands. And I'm like, oh shit. And at the time I was very conscious of like, I got to make her not feel gross. Like I'm not going to freak out right here. So I'm like, I think you started your period. I go in the bathroom. My face is like a horror scene.
Oh, God.
I was like Carrie.
Oh my God.
From like the fucking Stephen King movie.
For this episode, you're going to have to hit that explicit button twice.
Yeah, this is.
She looked like Carrie.
So let me throw this at you, by the way. Let me throw this at you in case you were curious.
I think this is just more and more. Sex is gross. We
one
still
in every
don't do it though.
One in every six
happen.
One
Sex
in every.
gross.
Hey, listen to my fact. God damn it! One in every 6 Americans, 1 in 6 from 14 to 49 has genital herpes. By the way, in America,
1 in 6 people.
1 in 6
that.
from 14 to 29.
That's too many people.
You know what? I don't have herpes, but I've heard the idea expressed before. You know, it's like you skateboard, you're gonna have some rashes.
That is not a sex battle scar.
That's true.
Disease.
That's a good point. That's a fair point.
It doesn't do anything to you.
I mean, can't herpes like affect women where they there's no that's the G one. What's the one
gonorrhea?
that affects women? Gonorrhea affects women.
No, herpes. Yeah, HPV will affect women, like in birth and stuff like that. Yeah. Herpes is only. I mean, when they flare,
aesthetics.
When they flare up, they can itch or they can burn a little bit. But like, that's it.
Sucks.
I say it.
1 in 6. That's a lot. That's not a battle scar. That is not a fucking sex.
Throwing it out there.
I'm thankful, and you have to have somebody who's actively got herpes. So, like, you can. I've had sex with people who have had herpes, but
I know.
Oh,
At the moment.
Like they have to be actively like opening in order.
I knew somebody that I feel like that I really really liked a girl, and she had that, and I was like, oh no, bye.
Yeah,
like not.
Tyler will be shit on, but not herpes.
Before I was with her, I was never with her. It was like the decision to be like, should I be with this person or not? And then I heard about that as well.
Well, actually, this leads. Did you have another fact, or can I tell the story? Really?
No, tell the story.
Just saying, it's kind of gross.
I have facts, but tell the story.
Okay, this was the worst sexual experience I've ever had in my life, hands down.
In the sense, obviously, that I'm going to assume we're going down a gross route.
I wasn't going to say that, but yes, it was the same person. Yeah. And we found out she had herpes like a week after I had sex with her. And I was very scared at the time because I did not know how herpes worked. But so
as you should have been scared though, by the way, whether you know how they work or not.
Yeah, you still should have been scared, even now.
No, because you can't. As long as they're not flaring up, you're good to go. Runway's open.
Wow, that's my. I have an early final thought.
Open. Okay. Green light, yo, green light.
Okay, so my first serious girlfriend, I'm like 18 at the time. We've been together since we were like 15, and she cheated on me and turned into a whole thing. I was young. We decided we were going
turned into a whole thing. What an asshole! It turned into a whole thing.
I bought her an iPhone. I showed up in her school to like pick her up and just like surprised her with it. And then
she surprised you with another dick in her vagina.
Exactly. I ended up throwing that iPhone I bought her out the window on the highway.
Wait a minute. You throw it out on the highway? What is the situation? Like, you get on the on-ramp. How long were you on the highway? When did you decide?
I mean, you're both
bitch?
crazy people at that point, right?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
When did you decide though?
Bought it for it's still like
I thought she came in, she said it in the cup holder, and in my head I was like, I'm throwing this at some point.
At some point.
Oh my god!
You premeditated this.
I bought it.
This phone.
How much did it cost you?
You premeditated this phone.
Cost me like $300.
That's
worth
it?
every
That's
cent.
actually shocking.
Worth every cent. The satisfaction of chucking it out the window.
Now iPhones are like a fucking house payment. But
Yeah.
Seriously, this was the first one. Anyway, so what you can get them for cheaper on your fucking plan or whatever.
Right.
But anyway, so I ended up like I was still pissed off at. We were back together, but I was still pissed off at her for cheating. Not a cheater. Never cheated in any other context. I decided, you know what? Fuck her. I'm gonna cheat because I was talking to this girl on AOL Instant Messenger that I barely knew. She was friends with Tyler. I had met her one time.
What is it? DSL or not DSL?
ASL.
What is it? ASL.
ASL. And do you have DSL?
Sex location.
Right. And so. I ended up, for some reason, I remember it wasn't even really, the fucked up thing was, it was bad right off the bat because we weren't even really flirting at the time. Like, it was just like, I was like, I want to get back at my girlfriend by having sex with somebody else. Will you have
real mature move, obviously.
Right.
And she was like, yeah, okay.
And she says, yes. So it ends up this situation. Okay.
Oh, wait. You told her this is what you wanted to do?
Yeah, I told her.
You son of a bitch. That's a great move, in a way.
It's a terrible move. It's a very sleazy, bad move.
Oh, it's very sleazy, but girls like
everything right from the moment, though.
It worked, though.
Yeah.
No, it's very sleazy, but
girls...
girls...
I'm just saying, like, without that conversation, it wouldn't have worked.
It did lead to the worst sexual experience of my life.
Maybe so, but girls like to... They love the idea that you're getting back at another girl. They like the idea that they're winning over another girl, even though they don't know who that girl is.
No, and I believe she told you afterwards it was terrible too. It was on both ends. It was awful. So I go to her house to pick her up. You understand, we're like, I think I'm 18. She's like 16 or 17. So she's sneaking out of her parents' house. And I'm 18. Like picking her up. 18. Was she? Okay, well, she was sneaking out of her parents' house. Like, yeah. I remember that she came out through the window. Your parents
at 18?
Yeah, totally. That's fair. I
live with my parents. I'm 37.
That's a different topic.
Yeah. We don't have an hour to talk about that.
An hour.
That's a 4-part session coming up soon.
Yeah. How are you feeling today?
Okay, go ahead.
But no, so she sneaks out of her window. She comes to my car. We don't know each other like at all. So it's like hey, like, how are you doing? Like,
but you know you're gonna have sex.
It's like a very awkward car ride back. We get back. I'm living in the basement at the time of my parents' house. I had a rabbit who did not know how to use its cage correctly. There's like rabbit shit and piss like in the carpet.
His bedroom looked like a crack.
I had a futon mattress on the floor.
It wasn't even on a futon.
No,
it was just on the floor.
Yeah, because the futon broke.
It was a crack den. It was a crack den with bunny shit.
It was a crack den, but I did not have the luxury of smoking crack. I can't even blame it on crack.
Not even luxury.
And so,
Don't got the resources for that.
So I'm taking Prozac at the time, which means like you can't really come. Like it takes a very long time to come on Prozac.
Yeah,
really? So, that's also interesting. I'm gonna write that down.
So we're in a situation.
Last longer Prozac.
The problem is lasting longer is only good if it's good sex. This was not.
Oh, I can't help myself there.
And so I bring her down into my basement and we just immediately start making out and having sex. And it's like, I don't know, there's a weird situation too where you're uncomfortable, where you're kissing somebody and it's like, that's not even working. It's like two just stale lips pressing on each other. You know? And
I feel like you gotta go. You gotta go way before the sex.
But he's younger and he doesn't care, and he's getting back at his bitch of a girlfriend.
And this at the time was the second person I ever had sex with. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm gonna fuck. Like that's all that matters. You know?
I get it, but it's like, man, get out of there.
And so
I want to tell
Tyler,
younger you to
that's a
stop
30-year-old talking to a fucking 18-year-old dude. Like,
Yeah.
it's a we start having sex. And it's flat out, it's just stale missionary. Like, it's just, we don't know each other. We're just smashing bits completely in a way, like, even
most of my sexual experiences.
smashing bits.
No, just not knowing who they
bits,
were.
Man.
Not knowing
yeah,
who they
I mean,
were.
that was 100%. If there was ever a time it was like that, that's what it was. This was like, there was nothing there. And so we're having sex. Then my stepdad walks from, they lived up on the second floor, or they slept on the second floor. He comes down to the main floor. And I'm like, oh, fuck, we need to be quiet. That's my stepdad. And so we're just laying
noise
there listening to him walk around with me inside of her.
You're soaking like
soaking like a Mormon.
You're soaking your cock like a Mormon.
Exactly. And then, like, he was down there for so long, and I'm like, fuck, what do we do? So I like, pull out, and I'm like, do you want to watch some TV for a little bit? You know?
Awesome, dude.
And so we stop in the middle, and we're watching The Daily Show.
Great show. Back with Jon Stewart.
On Comedy Central at 11 o'clock at night. As he walks around. Then eventually he goes back upstairs, and I'm like, do you want to continue? And I remember that she goes, I guess.
And it's agreeing. You're good.
And it's
go.
funny, too, because, like, I know both of these people. Like, I knew this girl pretty well, and, like, I was, like, they're both pretty cool people. And I would have thought that it would have been like there would have been some kind of chemistry, and there's nothing.
No. And so it just turns into a situation. I'm on Prozac. I'm not coming in. We're just going and going for like 5 or 10 minutes. Neither one of us is enjoying it. And at one point, she just goes, "Are you almost done?" And I'm like, yeah, you know what? Let's just call it quits. Do you want me to
call it a day? You want a Gatorade or what?
You want a Gatorade? Would you like a water? Are you an Uber driver?
I literally did get up and get her a water afterwards.
There you go. What a gentleman.
Right. Chivalry is not dead. Yeah.
It absolutely is in the context of this situation.
Scott, by the way,
you want to fuck, never met.
And then I drove her home, and I don't think we really said a word to each other. Like, it was just...
Scott, by the way, you just
sounds so awful, and I feel bad for her in that situation and you.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't feel bad for
more
Scott.
her.
But I don't feel bad for
her.
Scott.
Yeah.
But, Scott, it's already, by the way, you threw a statement out there that, like, it's so dumb. You know how you guys know how I am. I'm such a moron. I don't really mean anything, but in public, I like saying things to people, and I will open doors for girls. And I don't mean this in a, from when I just found out a term earlier, a cis way or whatever. But like, I don't mean it that way, but I'll say that. I'm like, chivalry isn't there with this guy, am I right? And I'm just fucking opening the door.
You can't brag about you opening a door.
I will do it.
Sis, you are that.
You completely just negated any good you did. That is a nice thing. I love opening doors for people, man. It's a great feeling.
It is a good feeling.
I do it.
You don't say a word.
No.
I do it in my.
Maybe give a nod. Yeah, do it now. Not in a smile.
Not like, hey, you're welcome. I'm opening doors for you in life.
I do it because I'm an asshole, dude.
You have to have good timing with opening doors.
Oh,
I hate either opening a door or having a door open for me and I'm too far away. You gotta do the jog.
Fuck that, dude. Fuck it. I hate it so much. I have started in my life to get to the point where, dude, I'm at a point in my life. I agree. I like to be. I was joking. I do that as an asshole. I do say it, but I do it knowing I'm an asshole. But like, I do not mind opening doors for people, or someone opens doors for you. I like general things of kindness. But you are right. That timing to me. If I'm in a situation in a store where I see that it might be weird, I will fucking stand 30 seconds and look at my phone. Not because I don't want the kindness or but like I don't want the awkwardness of like, we're at the door at the same time.
It's a
What
bad
the fuck
time.
do we do?
It is a hard call. There is a thin line between opening the door too early and not opening the door too close.
Exactly.
And then
That's
you
my
just
point.
that asshole would just let it shut on him.
I just don't want to be that. My worry is that I'm going to do that. Sit there and kind of be like, oh crap, are they too far? I'm closing the door, and then they jog up or some shit, and I'm fucking stuck here looking like a dick
I
bag.
deeply relate to all of this. I totally.
I absolutely do too. I open the doors for people constantly.
So I gotta say, this honest to God, this kind of flew by here. I am gonna just kind of keep it to our mostly normal time. I'm gonna ask you this though, and I know by me asking it, you're gonna understand what the premise is. So try to like play along with the question.
Okay.
Would you rather? What do you think you'd rather do as far as sex is gross? Would you, just kissing a person, a person you met at the bar, you're kissing them,
Sure.
or licking a toilet seat? What do you think would be cleaner?
What did how did you come up with this question?
To be fair, they're always saying like dogs' mouths are cleaner than humans.
If I were playing Family Feud, I would be like the kissing one in 100. I'm going to get 100 points.
Yeah, because
there's going to be nobody.
Right, I know that's what you're gonna think. I'm kind of bringing it up in the sense of like
mouths are cesspools. But I prefer the kiss. Don't get me wrong.
I understand, but what do you think? But what's more
Cleanse.
gross? What's more dirty?
I'm trying to play along with this. I don't know how I play along with this. There is no way, shape, or form in which are we talking about like
a 10-second kiss with a girl or licking a toilet seat?
I mean, a 10-second kiss with a girl, or
10 seconds on a toilet seat. 10 seconds.
Actually, 10-second kiss.
We'll say 10 seconds both ways.
Both. Definitely the kiss.
Definitely the kiss.
Definitely the kiss.
Is that grosser? You're saying? Or that's not grosser. I mean, more dirty.
That's not grosser.
That's not grosser. You are the
like if it was butthole too.
What are you saying is more dirty? To be
we
clarified,
are playing the worst episode of Family Feud with a mentally deranged Steve Harvey right now, and I don't know.
It was trying to influence the contestants.
I'm trying to clarify.
That answer?
I'm just clarifying. What do you think is not grosser? Sorry, more dirty of those two things.
Licking a toilet seat.
Licking
a million times over.
When two people kiss, they exchange between 80. They exchange around 80 million bits of bacteria in a 10-second kiss.
Yeah.
A public toilet seat has 1,000 bits of bacteria.
I mean, we were wrong. We were wrong to pick the thing.
I don't care. I'm still.
I totally understand. Obviously, I'm just pointing out.
Now that I know the facts, like it depends on who I'm kissing.
Let me ask you this too. This matters. Am I kissing the same person who also sat on this toilet seat?
By the way, I gotta say something. I don't know.
Pee or poop?
That's a good question too. I have to say something that might rival my remarks of overweightness last week. But I have a thing, I'm the dirtiest motherfucker on some levels you ever meet. I've literally eaten several varieties of animal shit, stuff like that, whatever. But my point is, I've always been weird about toilet seats. Like when I go to public restrooms, I like what they call nest, where you fucking put a shitload of fucking paper towel down because I'm like, I don't want to fucking touch this shit.
Sure.
And I remember very specifically one time I was up north at this place, just up north in Michigan, whatever. And there was a public restroom, and it was like one of those unisex ones. And I don't know what it is, but this old lady walked out of it. And the thing is, you always know that a guy might not have sat on the toilet seat ahead of time. But I walked right after this old lady came out, and I'm like, I'm fucking putting a shitload of paper towel down. Because in my mind, I just pictured this old lady's ass on that toilet seat. I'm like, that's disgusting.
Yeah, like I said, it depends on who I have to kiss.
Do you put toilet paper on the toilet seat?
No,
I don't either. I'm too lazy. I'm too lazy. You know what I've done before where I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be a toilet paper guy. I'm going to be a little bit more cleanly. I try it, like put one on there and it just kind of whiffs into the bowl.
I know. That's the worst.
I will use one of those, like those toilet cover things if they have them.
If you're at like a 5-star
I don't know how. No, I won't use those because I don't know how to use them.
They sometimes have them at shitty gas stations.
They have a slot. It's always empty.
I don't know how to use those. I don't understand how they work.
You just gotta poke the hole in the middle.
And you know what? They're not
color him and
thick
pop hole.
enough for me. They're not thick enough. I don't want to feel that goddamn. I'm the most one of the most disgusting people you ever meet, but I hate public toilet seats and shitting on them. I hate them.
Toilet paper is pretty thin, man.
Can we
Why
talk
put
about
layers down?
Okay.
You know what I'm always curious about is when you find a guy's pubes on the toilet seat.
I don't
Like, how
understand.
does that
No,
happen?
they must come off my no, but I think
Right.
I think
Are they
honestly,
plucking it off? Like I'm gonna leave a memento.
no, Scott, my take on that is when I was on the Detroit cast, we had a bathroom. We did the show out of our host, like just his basement. So there's no one else there. Only three of us. He didn't really have, anybody else in that basement bathroom. And they would show up. And I'm telling you, dude, I think they just happen sometimes. Like, I don't think it's weird. It must just when you're peeing and you're touching that or something. Because honestly, I was never in there.
Was this host a Greek or a Middle Eastern man? Like what? Eastern European dude? Like
Cool move. Everybody's cool.
Well,
Two out of those three people were white. That's not racist.
and by the way, one more thing.
Bosnian just fucking shitting on this toilet. Fucking Bosnian 40-year-old plumber. Like, who is this guy?
Nobody. I was the one who used it the most, and I wasn't in there doing nothing.
Use it the most.
Were there ever any Bigfoot sightings inside of this bathroom?
and by the way, speaking of pubes, I want to throw this at you. Shaving your pubes makes you more likely to spread STDs than non-shaving your pubes. So just throwing that out there for you.
Wow.
Oh, I guess that makes sense because
it's a block.
Skin.
It's a block. Yeah, they
pubes
think
are
that
a sanitary thing.
Right. They think that that's what they're there for, even though we've all decided we're done with it, which I agree because it's disgusting. And
that's true. And what do pubes give you? They give you crabs. I mean, you should be looking close enough before you're fucking to know there's not crabs.
You should be. Right? But anyway, I don't know if we solved whether sex is gross or not, but I mean, we talked about sex.
I feel like sex is gross, but like if you like the person you're doing with it, whatever.
Well, and you know what, Scott? I should say, I
feel like everything is gross. You know, you talk about this fucking
it's all gross. Humans are disgusting.
Thing. Dude, you want to talk about your fucking toothbrush? You want to talk about your hotel room comforter?
No, I don't. At all.
I want to keep that very far away from my mind.
You eat dead, desiccated animals on a daily basis.
I'm gonna do some tonight. You're right. No, you are right. I think what Tyler was saying, like, my whole thing was like, I used to think about this, like, if you've ever done, for example, phone sex with somebody. I always have this in my mind. In that moment, if you're with the person, just like in real sex, Tyler, if you're in that moment. You don't care. You love this person, or whatever, or you both know what you're doing. It's fine.
Yeah.
But if you sat there the next day, even if you loved them and woke up and had just an anatromic, computer read your sexting text, it would be like, this is fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like this.
I don't know. I just might get horny again. The thing is,
that's true. That's true. I've jerked off to sexting in the past.
Like I said, if I like the person, if I don't, it's disgusting. Scott's literally said before that I have a vagina phobia because if I don't like somebody, you gross and you keep away from me with that nastiness.
Which is about like 95% of women.
So Scott, Tyler is like me, except he's better at doing it when maybe I just haven't cared enough about a person, I guess.
Because like I've been in situations where I have just been, it's not even like a sexual thing, but like I've been down on a girl and been like, do you like this? What do you think about this? And I'm just staring at her vagina, just down there.
I've always
and making sure that like what she likes and kind of thing. Cause like I'm open to anything when I like somebody. It takes a lot for me to get there, but like if I do, whatever, man.
I will say this about myself. And I think that this is not an excuse, but I do think this is a factor in my life. And that was when people say like, they're losing, like I had my first, I didn't get my first sexual experience at like 26 with a Indian woman I had met on Craigslist, for example. So like and
she was cheating on her husband also, correct?
Oh, she was married. Yes, that is correct.
She was. Yep.
And actually, I don't know if I've told you guys this, but I will tell this part. The first time I went to meet her, I actually pulled up to a neighborhood. It was like 25 minutes from where I was living, and I was just like, this is ridiculous, dude. You're gonna walk in this house and someone's gonna be behind the door with a sack of fucking doorknobs or something.
Chris Hansen's just gonna walk out like, oh, you like fucking Middle Eastern women that are married?
Right. It's like what are you fucking doing, you
What are you
moron?
doing here, buddy? What are you doing?
And so I drove away.
Yes, she was amazed. Like,
So
what
I
are those,
drove away.
Spritzers for? Like, who was that for?
But I drove away the first time.
40-year-old woman, I'm fucking.
And then finally, like a week later, I just like, you're just gonna do it. You're just gonna do it. And whatever. So the point is, I
you ghosted her once and then came back.
Yeah, I like made up. Well, I mean, I didn't ghost her because I made up an excuse. I told her I had to work or something. Or
That's
whatever.
I think it's still ghosting.
It's like adjacent ghosting.
Yeah.
And I will say, by the way, I did hook up with her a few times.
Supernatural experience.
Right. Well, I will say this too. I did hook up with her a few times, and what I would always do is leave my keys and my wallet like under my front car seat door, and I was always in my mindset on the ready to, like, if I had to like kick her husband in the nuts or something and run to my car and drive away, like that's what I had to do. But anyway, my point is though, I just didn't have it. I had no.
Is so cowardly, dude. It's like in the nuts, like, and then a runaway.
Tyler, if you get caught having sex with a married woman in her house, you're not running for moral president of the year.
No,
okay,
no.
so like,
I'm just saying, I love that that's your go-to. It's not like, oh, I'll take him. It's
fuck no.
It's like, no,
Fuck no.
kick him in the nuts and run.
Dude, I'm a fucking survivalist. Anyway.
Yeah, you're right. Like, somebody who says he's going to take him on is going to get their ass.
Was
No,
her
fuck that
toilet
shit.
seat covered in hair?
What's up? What'd you say?
Was her toilet seat covered in hair?
Oh, I'm
my
not
question.
Indian, man. No. Anyway, but my point mainly was I really feel in the end that it was a disservice to myself that I went through my whole, oh, you fucking assholes, but I went through my whole life. I didn't go through those growing pains of some of this stuff. And I do think that hurt me because I reached such, that was at 26. I didn't have real sex with like a girl that I had a connection with on any level, I think, until a year or two later. And so I just don't think the problem was at that point, I'm an adult. You know, I'm 27.
Yeah, your brain is fully developed at that.
Right. And so I have preconceived notions on stuff. And and also there's insecurity. Like, I don't have this, like, where I'm just going to go down and be like, oh, I'm going to start licking this pussy because but insecurity wise, like, I'm a lot of
That's
stuff.
what a secure person sounds like.
Yeah. I never announced my pussy eating. It shall commence. The pussy shall be eaten.
So I think that has to do with some of it. I think that has to do with some of my grossness, and I think on some level.
No, that's fair. Like, not really knowing even what that is. It's such a I mean, fear with that shit where it's like
people get to make
unknown
mistakes when you're younger. When Scott talks about being young, so I have, as a man, I just had this. I think I had to, and I'm not making excuses. In reality, it's something that I should. I'm not saying that, but I'm just saying I think on some level I never had these moments where I just learned things, and so I felt so stupid as an older adult.
So it sounds like Tyler and I are like, sex is grosser than we give it credit for, and you're like, you know what? Actually, it's a personal problem. I think we switched.
That's a little bit. That's fair.
Because it is pretty gross. It's pretty gross, but it feels real good.
It's like when we had Chris Newberg on.
Just feels like regular sex. Don't understand it.
When we had Chris Newberg on his show, Heroin Has a New Publicist. The theme is essentially originally his podcast started with themes of things that are bad, but we do them anyway. And you know what I mean? So the reality is sex is gross, but we do it anyway. Obviously.
Yes. It's like I said, an easy thing. The gross shit's easy to ignore when sex is involved. Because it's like, man, that pleasure.
Yeah.
Just coming feels great. That's that's my final thought.
I was going to say, is that your final thought?
Yeah. Coming feels good, but everything else dealing with sex is pretty gross when you really just
if you just broke it down analytically. If you have
a list of things that happened when you fucked. Yes.
Like if I told you, Scott, like analytically, if you didn't know how good it felt, but just like, so you're going to take your tongue and you're just going to, this person's shithole. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why would you do that?
It's definitely weird now. Like, it's definitely weird.
The next time it happens, I'm
gross
just
and
gonna be
upsetting
picturing
now.
your face.
Your face. Yeah, the next time I eat an ass, I'll be like, God damn it, Eric.
I will say, okay. Okay.
Think about that, you son of a bitch.
Think about that.
My final thought is if you, I will say there has been times I've in the moment had sex and done sex stuff, and then afterwards been like, oh man,
what about the smell? Let me ask you this. While you're in the moment, and Tyler really is a good person and good for it. Honestly, I actually am jealous of him because I'm very bad at that. It's a real problem I have on some level where I have a hard time really letting myself go. But you're in the moment, you're in the moment. Let me ask you this as an honest question though. After you're done, because once you ejaculate, dude, let's be honest. Like it's just like a guys
that is
you're back to normal, right?
You feel like a monster.
You're back to reality,
you feel
right?
like you done sinned.
Do you like that smell?
You want that person to go away.
That depends on context. Totally.
Yeah, that's true. You
Of
can
course,
have
of
a
course.
loving relationship where it's
But-
like,
but even-
I see a hole.
Then it's like, this is great.
with this
Yeah,
person.
I feel like we bonded. This is beautiful.
That is
Totally
true.
get that.
But if it is just some just for sex,
like a
afterwards it's
stranger
like,
off a Tinder or something
that's the
like
most
that.
miserable thing.
Let me ask you this though.
As soon as you come.
Let me ask you this
It's
though.
complicated though, because it's
What?
like I did it. I accomplished it, but also, yeah.
In
Right
some
there.
situations, you're done. You're out of that moment now. You're whatever. Do you really like the sex smell? That smell of fucking or no?
If
Okay.
I like them, yes.
If it's a one night stand, what if it's a one night
If it's
stand
a
though?
one night
Again,
stand, no.
Go ahead.
No.
no, you're good.
I was gonna say I have little to no smell or taste. It's
You
just
son of a
thing in
bitch.
general.
Good for you.
I know, honestly, that benefits
People
him a
will
lot.
always
I've
do know what?
definitely dated
You should think
girls-
sex is the
I've
least
definitely
gross.
dated girls that I liked
Yeah.
where I almost gagged going down on them because it didn't taste great.
It's almost totally a visual experience.
And it's not like I want to
Like,
rag
that's-
on them. It's just
I
like that
envy
shit
you,
happens.
honestly.
It's like I have a good sense of smell and
Yeah.
like, and some girls like because I have that. Some girls taste delicious. Some girls smell delicious.
Yeah.
Smell like peaches or fucking strawberries or all the best things in the world. And like it can be that, but I've also gagged on a vagina.
So it's a spectrum from strawberries to rotting fish. Would
Yes.
that be an accurate?
Yes.
Yeah.
I want that strawberry.
And by the way, for them, I to be non just making fun of girls, I have a theory that to them, yeah, sucking a dick would be gross, dude. You're sucking a fucking
absolutely.
rod down your throat.
It's a mean thing to look at. Like I
can't even fucking imagine.
It's like Jesus Christ.
You know what really gave me a different perspective on sucking dick that I've never heard before?
This should be great.
Recently, there's this Twitter post that's been going around the internet that went viral,
Damn.
where a woman was saying that and a ton of people were agreeing that clean dick tastes like avocados.
Really?
Huh.
And I would have never guessed it. I would have never known.
I didn't know. Is that true though?
Yeah, I mean, there is a ton of
A bunch
women
of people
that
agreeing
like,
with it?
holy shit, that's exactly.
So
what
if you got clean dick,
yeah, clean
like
dick
if-
tastes like avocado.
Well, I'm gonna start washing my
That's not
dick.
that bad.
Final thought. Like also another final thought. I'm gonna start washing my dick.
I just
So-
imagine it tastes like skin, like more or
I mean,
less.
avocados taste like skin with a little bit of spice, a little bit of
a
flavor.
little bit of flavor. Yeah, the thing about I like eating out a girl who you're not into or they do have not cleaned or something. That shit's disgusting. And to be fair, I'm sure it's disgusting when a guy doesn't clean either. But it's like women still can inherently have a bad smell.
I've eaten out women camping.
And
I mean-
dicks.
What did he say?
clean it-
I've eaten out women camping. I mean, like I don't.
Yeah,
have
me too.
hardly-
I mean, the thing is I'll do it.
Oh, I know you have.
I'm just not a super huge fan of the taste. Like, it's not the best if they haven't really showered. And I'm sure it's the same thing with a dick.
Mm.
It's
And
just
that's my
like,
point, by the way. I should say we're guys talking about girls, but I have.
yeah, it's
I
not like
appreciate for them.
hating on them at
Dude,
all. It's just like,
no, I have
oh,
appreciation
bro,
for
we
them. What it is,
squirt little
Dude.
white jizz all over their shit.
Fuck
Like, it's
yes,
weird.
disgusting, dude. A bunch of us, bunch of
You think
fucking.
about how
take your
similar
shirt off.
it is to snot.
You're fucking
I've
look at
done-
this.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
Oh yeah. You know what I mean? Fucking man, fat ass tits. You're just on top of some shit.
I mean, I
give me a break.
exercise, Eric.
Yeah, so I fucking exercise, but I'm 37. You know, I ran
Okay.
2 goddamn marathons, you asshole. So
Then explain what just happened.
yeah, life gets older, and I eat a lot of.
Life gets older. So do I.
Right, 5 years from now, when I'm 37, he's gonna be like, "Let me see your chest, buddy. Let me see how you're doing."
Yeah, let me see how you're doing. Let's see it now, bro. I'd be okay with that.
Anyway, I think that's a good spot.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Did we do final thoughts? Did you guys did you actually do them or not?
I gave you mine.
Scatterbrained final thought. I would just say it's interesting that dicks taste like avocados. I wouldn't have guessed it.
Anything
Kind of makes sense.
I would say on my end, I actually have I went into this, by the way, again, like selling it, like sex is gross. I understand that I have my own weirdness to it. And I wish my final thought is I envy that Tyler is so much better at that. That's something that I wish I was better at. It was kind of being in the moment of something like that. Yeah. And I'm just very in my own head in all phases of my life, which I think works in a comedy sense, but it doesn't work as much in real life sense.
Well, at least just with sex. I mean, your life's working out
with other shit too, but I think of everything a million fucking times. Dude, I'll sit in bed thinking about conversations I had 10 years ago. Like, I should have said this.
Fair enough. So my tease for next week. Yeah, we're gonna be doing an episode. Have you ever seen the reality show Kid Nation?
I know about it. I've heard of it, but I don't remember.
Because did we do an episode with him?
Oh,
not with him.
No, we did. I don't think so.
We did.
No, I think we did. I think we did, but I didn't know what it was at the time.
Yeah, maybe not. Well, nonetheless, I'm gonna talk to you guys about Kid Nation. Scott knows a decent amount about it, but I'm gonna look up some more information about what happened with these kids. And it's essentially a show.
Like what happened with them and stuff? That's awesome.
Yes, because it was only one season. It got canceled after that season because of the parents suing the production company.
I would say that, well, we'll get into it. I would say this, not knowing much about it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the parents would have as far as leverage in the sense that they signed. We'll see. We'll get into it, I guess.
The kids almost drank bleach.
But trying to get rid of COVID?
We'll get into that.
Was he trying to get rid of COVID?
Week. Yeah, it was way before COVID.
But you know what? It is a great show.
What'll get ahead of his time?
I'm excited to re-explore it.
Yeah. So I was thinking that, do you guys want to do like we watch it or just talking about what happened on it?
Let's probably discuss this after the podcast.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out. Because I've got some
we will figure it out. Next week we'll be on Kid Nation, whether it's episode by episode or just the thing as a whole. So look forward to that. And then, we got
this has been an episode.
And it will be out on Wednesday.
Yes.
Okay. This has been an episode of Two Hippies, One Drunk. Thanks so much for a lot of people. I know we said at the beginning, but honestly, this is already growing a lot further than any of us really expected, and we really appreciate it. You guys sticking with us through all of that, and the likes and the comments and
all the stuff.
All that stuff is really cool. So we really appreciate it. And I guess that's it. We'll see you next week.
Review us on iTunes, and thank you. Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Review us on iTunes.
Review us on iTunes. We will be in your sleep, just being like, review us on iTunes.
ASMR. Review us on iTunes.
Jack off to this. I don't care. Just jack off to this all you want. Just
I'm letting it go.